This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about surviving chronic illness and near-death experiences and things that maybe we all don't appreciate as much as we should. And before I introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed behind the glass. And Ed, it's a dreary, rainy day here, isn't it?
Gorgeous. If it would just drop 20 degrees, I'd be happy.
If it would drop a little bit more, we'd have snow.
No, because it would be 50 degrees. You need another 15 or 20.
Okay, to drop more.
At least 30 then.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, it's one of those days that are just hard to get up and get out of bed. So I'm glad we're talking about this today because sometimes we don't appreciate what we do have. So
I appreciate this weather.
Good for you. Somebody does. Anyway, but it was hard for me to get up this morning. It's just dreary and just rainy, and the sun's not out at all, which is different for Florida. Anyway, my guest today is a music DJ, and he's been a radio DJ for 37 years and a 14-year veteran law enforcement officer at ESU, which is Emergency Service Unit, and or as most would know it as a SWAT or rescue team. And he's currently on FM and iHeartRadio as a mix show DJ. And what I found him because he was doing inspirational things on Facebook to post his music. And I was interested, and he had a shirt that was basically supporting cancer and treatment and things like that. So I reached out to him because I was inspired to, and as I got to know him, his story is very, very, very powerful. And I want to get into this, but first I want to just introduce to you my guest, Pete Othman. Hi, Pete. Thanks for calling in.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. And thank you so much for your time, for being on the show, and for talking about this. Sometimes it's not easy for people to talk about what they've gone through, and what you've gone through is amazing. And I want to welcome... I want to welcome callers to call in today, 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. Your calls are welcome, feedback, and stories of hope as well. And so, yeah, Pete, let's start in the beginning. I know that it started for you. You're a father, a husband, and it started way back in 2003. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, sure. Well, when I first was diagnosed with what I believe is the initial nail in the coffin, unfortunately, as you want to say it, I was diagnosed with diabetes doing a life insurance test after marriage, and that kind of shook my world pretty heavy. And you would think that would change everything, but just like everything else with illness, you get accustomed to your situation. Mm-hmm. And my doctor told me at one point, she said, listen, one day you're going to lose your kidneys. And this was back in 04, a year after diagnosis and treatment. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be fine. And
denial is our best friend, isn't it?
Yeah. Lo and behold, the next step was I did have full kidney failure back in 14 from diabetes.
Are you still there?
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like dead hair is the worst thing. Right? So you had full kidney failure, and then and so you had to have a transplant?
Yeah, I went on the transplant list. They wanted to do dialysis, and unfortunately I've seen my father and my uncles, they've gone through dialysis, and I did not want that quality of life. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it was a stubborn move on my part, but I have to say it was the luckiest thing I never did, because I had family come out of who I never thought would come out and support my existence by offering their spare, what they call it, share your spare. and then my brother-in-law tested, and
Brother-in-law, like, so your wife's brother?
my wife's brother.
Wow.
Yeah, and he tested and he matched. He was young at the time. I think he was only 17, 18 years old.
Wow.
But he's over 18. He's over 18, and approximately 2 weeks before transplant, we were actually going down to New Jersey. I live in New York, to get fireworks. It was a long drive, and he gets a phone call from the kidney coordinator saying that he now has kidney stones and that he's no longer a candidate to donate.
Wow.
So I mean, it was a pretty long ride back. It was a shock to the system. And
How does kidney stones impair giving a? Don't they pass? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, well, for some reason, it's a condition, and if you have any kind of condition with your kidneys, you can't do any donation.
Okay.
And so that immediately disqualified him. And I told my wife about it, and I guess she spoke about it, behind on phones, whatever. Because I really didn't discuss it much with my family. I'm very private like that. Like, even when I'm in the hospital, I don't tell them. They just end up showing up because people have big mouths. And my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, Tina, she called me and she said, "I'm coming to New York." I'm like, cool. She's like, "I'm a match." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I'm a match." I tested back in February, but they said my brother-in-law's nickname is Kiki. His name is David. We called him Kiki. Said Kiki. They went with Kiki because he's younger. But I'm coming. I'm giving you my kidney. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
So yeah.
Two in-laws that are stepping up to the plate too. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
Not everyone has that
what
kind
I
of
do
family.
to deserve this?
So you have your brother's wife's kidney?
Yes.
It was a
Tina.
successful transplant?
It was almost. It's perfect because I started out with 23 rejection pills, and I'm only on 4 in the morning and 3 at night. Wow. So it's almost a perfect. It's an amazing match, and I can't. There's none of gratitude in my words and actions to thank somebody like that.
And Tina saved your life.
She saved my life. She saved my daughter has a father because of her. The wife has a husband because of her. So, and I think she's watching. I gave her the information and the phone number.
Tina, call in 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. Call in and join us. That's a big deal. Wow.
It's a huge deal. Like, and and it's like, it was like nothing to her. She's like, "Yeah, I'll give it to you." I'm like, wow. Because my dad died of kidney. Well, he had kidney failure, and he was asking around, and it was very hard for him to get one. Mm. And he ended up his wife gave it to him. My stepmom gave it to him, and it didn't take well. So with all the experience, I was very nervous about it.
What do you call it? Share your spare.
Share your spare.
People going through that circumstance can say that.
It's an incredible thing. Share your spare, and she's a very God-fearing woman. And it was like nothing to her. She's like, it was meant to be. I have it. You could have it, and now I'm part woman.
You're part woman. Hey, but we got Tina on the line. Tina, thanks for calling in. Welcome to Moments of Clarity.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. What an honor. You're that kind of person that would, donate whatever you had to save somebody, especially an in-law. That's amazing. What was that like for you? Did you even have to second guess it?
No, I didn't second guess it at all. I was happy to be able to help Pete out, and it was actually an amazing experience. Pete can tell you too that, we were always close, but it even brought us closer together, and to be able to serve in this way was an honor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, what's the procedure like? Was it a long recovery process for you or anything like that?
The procedure was, it was about a 2.5, 3 hour operation. And they did it laparoscopically, which was, a lot easier than they've done in years past. And we were in the hospital for 4 days. It wasn't too bad. And then, I was back to work within 10 days.
Wow.
But I do work remotely from home. I do some travel, but my work was very good with allowing me to rest and finish my work as needed. But so I was very lucky in that way. But But the recovery wasn't bad. You have to be a little strong, and it was challenging because, it was painful, but every day it got a lot easier and a lot better. And, we just got through it. So
I think Pete told me a little bit about you. Aren't you a speech therapist and you help people in need anyway?
Yes, I do. I am a speech therapist. I work in skilled nursing facilities and rehab with the elderly population, with, neurological deficits and whatnot. I've been doing it for about 20 years.
So you're just that kind of giving person anyway. Pete's lucky to have you.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I have a very strong faith, and, that's what gets me through, every day and every journey. And, I'm just so thankful that I was a fit for Pete, and God got us through it.
Yeah. Well said. And he also said that you'd make a good guest on my show someday, so we'll be in touch after this, too. But thanks for calling in.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, I would be happy to join the show. Thank you so much.
Pete, do you have anything to say to Tina before I have to let her go?
Oh, there's not enough words for my gratitude and for my existence. And I know, what I'm going through after the kidney transplant. She's like, oh, my God, you better keep that kidney in good shape. Stick around.
Take care of my kidney.
Exactly.
Yes.
So then you have to take things seriously now.
And he's done a great job.
You have to take things seriously now, Pete, not ignore the doctor's recommendations.
There's so many doctors and so many recommendations.
But thank you for calling in, Tina. What you did was very, very heartwarming, especially near Christmas, that to be able to talk about that and how family is there for each other sometimes, and in-laws too.
Yes.
It's not even a blood relative. So maybe that, does diabetes run into your family, Tina?
Diabetes does run in my family, and especially on my mom's side, and I do carry a lot of my mom's genetics, but I do not have diabetes, which is great, and I do take really good care of myself, eating and exercise. So, I'm very mindful of, my health and making sure that I'm doing everything I can to stay as healthy as possible without getting diabetes.
Yeah.
But honestly, people get scared about donating, and, I haven't felt better. I feel better now than I did before I had 2 kidneys. And it's really just a remarkable experience. And, there's a lot of benefits to it that people aren't aware of, such as, when you become a donor, if you ever need a kidney transplant in the future, you go to the top of the transplant list. So that is a nice perk in case you do need, a kidney transplant. And another fun fact is that the kidney will actually grow to compensate for the loss of the other kidney, which I thought was pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people would be fearful that if they give one away, that there'd be something, having to worry about. It would endanger somebody or something like that. But our bodies adapt.
They do, and that is a fear. And Pete will tell you, we got a lot of slack about it from family members and whatnot. But I just stuck to my guns and said, hey, this is where God's leading me to do, and I'm going to do it. I wasn't afraid. It's a human life. I don't care who you are, whether you're family or not related. If we can serve other people in a way, to help them, live, it's all that more worth it. And being in healthcare, I do see a lot of patients that do go on dialysis, and that really is no way to live. It's very hard on the body. It makes them very tired. The quality of life is just not what it could be. So with Pete, I didn't want to see him going through that. And because he is so young, to see him to struggle like that would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine some of your family being scared about that, but it's good that you punched through that and just stuck to your guns.
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Her father came to recovery, and her father was like, "You better take care of my daughter's kidney."
Well, there was a lot of fear. but I try not to live my life around fear and just keep my faith in Jesus and know